It's day one at the Kalahari Augrabies Xtreme Marathon. We're back with Xtreme Trail Talk. Let's have a look at the leaderboard for the day. In the men's, Benny Roo from South Africa, Xavi Marina from Spain, and in third place, Mark Curtis from Great Britain. Fourth place, Pavel Polonsi from Czech Republic, and Nas Janssen van Rensburg from South Africa. In the ladies, let's have a look at the ladies' board. Erika de Blanche from South Africa, Estelle Gerkens, Tuzi Borden, also South Africa, Kim van Ketz in fourth place from South Africa, and Alti Clark, also from South Africa. A whole bunch of South African ladies running up at the front in the ladies section. We've had a look at the leaderboard. Now let's go to the start line and see what some of the runners had to say this morning.
Nervous.
That's why I brought a permanent smile with me this year.
It's a walk in the park, I keep hearing.
Most important to enjoy. Give it all.
The vibe here is incredible. I haven't seen a vibe like this in 20 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, we want to enjoy, to discover new tracks, and we'll see.
First day quite nervous, last day quite dead.
So like the running part, like the real race, because it's out there. And yeah, the good thing is that I had my splint changed. Now it is much more suitable for running.
I've got Benny and Cavalia that are good friends of mine, and to share this experience with them is just a dream.
Being on your own, I guess.
We're doing great.
Yeah, my name is Ari.
Had a cuddle, cry, now we're ready to go. Get your nipple.
We're lucky enough to have Phil Wardby with us tonight in the studio. He's all the way from Benoni Running Club, and he's run this race. How many times have you run it, Phil?
I've run it 3 times.
3 times. We won't say how many times you finished it, but what he has done is he's run all the way from Benoni to the start of this race and then completed the race over 7 days. And that's a fair feat. How many kilometers was that?
933 just to get here.
Just to get here.
Yeah.
Phil, you're going to be helping just talk us through the race today, and we're going to have a look at some of the footage.
Absolutely.
And just see how the guys did. We had some extreme heat. The guys went out pretty hard.
I think on day one with the heat, but the wind I think cooled them down a little bit. But it may have led them into a false sense of security, because they're not realizing that they are sweating a lot and they need to keep those liquids and rehydrates coming in all the time.
And something like a water crossing like this at the beginning of a race, getting your feet wet, some guys just blunder through it.
To be honest, I would say don't blunder through it, because your feet are going to stay wet. One of the biggest things, obviously, you've got to get through this race and your feet are going to get you through it. But the thing that happens here is you keep your feet wet, they get soft, and it's going to start developing blisters, and a few other nasties will come along.
You know, we're looking at the water with the checkpoints here, and obviously, I mean, you're filling up your bottles and you're drinking at the checkpoints.
Absolutely.
But when things are going so well, do the guys tend to lull themselves into a false sense of confidence?
They might on a day like this. It's a short day. It's only a 25-kilometer run. So they might push it a little bit. I don't think that's wise, because it's a day one, so you've got plenty of time ahead of you. And yes, I think they might just lull themselves into a little bit of false sense of security.
And of course, you know, there's 6 days to go.
There's a lot of running still to be done in those 6 days. The terrain gets hard. You've got the long date coming still, and yeah, that is going to give you a problem if you don't look after yourself right in the beginning.
There wasn't a hell of a lot of sand today, eh?
Not. Well, I think they were very lucky. STM must have been feeling very soft today.
I mean, you can have most of this looks like it's sort of fairly tough ground. I mean, when we were out there.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to change. You know how things change.
I know exactly how it changed. You read your instructions and you get that dreaded little note, turn left and into the riverbed, and you know you've got about 4 kilometers of soft sand coming, so you have to be ready for that.
What would you say is the toughest day of this race?
I think it's probably the day before the long run, because it's invariably set quite tough. And I remember asking Estienne one year, why do you set such a tough course? And he said, well, it's an extreme marathon and you've got to get used to it. You know, the long day, if you take it easy as you start and lead into the day and take your rest when you feel tired, then it's not a problem.
Well, we've heard from Phil, and now let's have a listen to what a couple of the runners had to say when they finished. We had a couple of the leaders talking to us, and then, of course, a couple of guys further back in the field. Let's have a listen to them and see what they had to say at the end of the day.
That exact route in 2015, 5 people dropped out. Why? The weather.
We're lucky today. Yeah.
And I bet you it's going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours difference. It's just purely from weather.
We were very fast the first day. It's calm, it's too long, but the feelings are good.
It's going to be a tough race between me and him, and Marcus hot on our heels and Pavel also on our heels. So, but it's early days. Don't get too excited now.
Beautiful. Oh. Cheers, very man.
Well done.
Beautiful, eh?
Yeah,
Chubby, well done.
Very good.
It was better than expected. I'd say it was just the starter of this race because, yeah, we got some really good wind.
Challenging, but it's always hard in the desert, and it was great to be out there.
It's wonderful to be home. Sure, it's beautiful, yeah. Like a nice little air conditioner blowing, no gogas. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's day one, but I feel immensely and overwhelmingly blessed.
Nice, fun, windy day for a first start.
The last checkpoint felt like about 2 kilometers because LT wouldn't shut up. She spoke the whole way.
You just forget just how amazing it is when you haven't seen it for, well, 3 years in my case. It was great. Yeah, I love it. Looking forward to tomorrow now.
What's taking you so long?
Bye.
Phil, tomorrow, 35 Ks.
Tomorrow the race really starts. Today was 25. They had an appetizer to get into this race and to get to feel what the temperatures are about. Tomorrow I believe we're going to have a lot of wind again. Again, you might get a false sense of security because the wind is going to tend to cool you down. And you need to be on top of your game, ensure that the athletes take their liquids, they rehydrate, they nibble along the way to keep that food going and getting the energy. Yeah, it's going to be a tough day. Always is on the second day. It all starts then.
That's actually sounds like that's the make or break, eh?
Yep, it will start.
Yeah.
The racing will really start tomorrow. And they must always remember that if they get to hear that it's only going to be 35 or 40 degrees, it's a lot hotter for them because that's a shade temperature. It's not the burning sensation they're going to get on their skin as they go through. So they have to take it easy and manage the liquids in particular, manage the feet, make sure they, at the checkpoints, that they take the shoes and socks off and have a look at all those kind of things. And then they'll get through it, not a problem.
Cool. Phil, thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Great.
Thank you.
We'll see you out on the route.
See you on the route
Great.
tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Good
Super.
night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Well, you've heard it from somebody who's been there before and done it before, and hopefully you're going to have a good day tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow night on Xtreme Trail Talk. Cheers. Good night.